last minute stream. Wanted to get something out this weekend. So I had a pretty hectic day. It's actually the sun shining, but the whole week is going to be raining here in the UK this week. And I do kiteboarding as a hobby, and I just haven't got out this summer yet. So the wind was perfect today. The weather was good, so got a session. You can see I'm a little bit sunburnt, but at least I got out in the water. Feel a whole lot better. Just got to get ready for work again tomorrow. So it'd be great to hear what your guys' hobbies are. So feel free to drop it in. It's good to have a hobby. Keep the mind give the mind time to relax apart from work. But so I thought today we cover all forms. So forms are really important. Like, you want to capture some data. You always want to capture some data from people in your business, and you want to send that data to email addresses. Might be a ticketing system or something. So you could always capture and then send via email. And also, it's quite useful to be able to capture attachments as well, and be able to send those. So I thought today I'll just put a really quick demo together for you guys, just to show you how it works. And might as well crack on. So as I said, I haven't really prepared for this, so we're just going to make it up a little bit as we go. I am going to share my screen. Let's just pop over there quickly. Present screen. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so this is my basic app shell. It's a template I use for my apps. Basically, there's the header over there is just a basic component. You can see I can update it with whatever screen I have. I've just got a picture of the person who's logged on, and their login name is presented on this screen. So that's a basic setup. There's a little message there which, depending on the time of day, it's a little hello to whoever's logged on. Just personalize the app a little bit, and then the rest is just a blank screen for the purpose of this demo. So before we kick it off, just checking a couple of things. Are we working? I think so. I think it's working. I can't actually see that the screen has changed on the platform, so I'm just checking to make sure everything's going okay. Publish. Yeah, I'm expecting the screens to have changed for this minute. Okay, let me check.
Around.
Okay.
I really hate it when they move everything around the last minute.
Okay, I think that's working. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back on topic again. All right. So just to remind you all, what we're doing here is we are setting up a form with an attachment that you can capture, and you can send the information that you captured via email. Quite simple, pretty simple. It's not going to be a complex form, right? It's just going to be really basic. So said we've set up this template. Now I'm going to add in some input. We want to put in a text input, so just a basic text box over here, and we'll just call this and we're going to put a label on there because we want to have a label, and we're going to say this is request, and it's black writing so you can't see it. We just change the color over here to white, and then this input we'll leave it at 13. We'll just put remove the default, put the hint text, so enter your request here, just so that people know what to do. And there we go, that should come up. No, the hint text isn't it. Enter your request. Yeah, there we go. And you see how it comes in the middle? That's because it basically thinks it's a single line of text. We want a multi-line. There we go. So we've got that over there. And we also want an attachments box, right? So we want to basically have your request, and we want to give the person an opportunity to upload an attachment as well. So to do that, it's a little bit of a funny way around. They don't actually, if you go in here and you try and add attachment, there's nothing in there. So it's a bit of a weird way you have to do it. You have to add a form, edit form. So edit this form. Just connect to any data source initially. Let's just see what I got in here. I'm just going to connect to this work request. Basically, this is a SharePoint list. You can connect to any SharePoint list, and you can see there's an attachments field here, which is basically default in SharePoint. So we just want to copy that. So I'm just Control-C on that to copy, and let's just see if I can paste it outside. There we go. So that's what we want. We just want to copy that attachment field outside of the form, outside of this edit form. I'm just going to delete this form afterwards, right? Because we don't actually need it. So basically, I went in there, edited the form, took out this attachments field in there. Right. I think that's it. Alright. So we've got the attachments box. I'm just going to add in a label on there. So just color that white so I can see it. Didn't actually work for some reason. Let's try again. Right. Upload, attachment upload. Okay, so there we've got that part. Right. What have we got in here? So just going back up here. Attachment. Right. Advanced. So I just need to see. I think there's items. We just need to delete. There's an error there. We just remove that. It's because it's trying to refer back to the form, and yeah, we don't need that at the moment. And it's referring to its parent as well. So let's just delete that. What other errors are there? Parent.display name. We don't need that either. Is there anything else? Display mode. It's all these parent. There we go. Okay, so I just clicked on the arrow. The red box there, just to get all the errors, and then just delete them, because it's coming from a form. It's basically looking at all the parent values, which we don't need. Okay, so basically in here we've got now our little box to collect the message from whoever's logged on, and then the ability to upload an attachment. Right, so next, let's just make sure we've labeled these correctly, so I know. So we're going to rename it to text request. There we go. And what is this one? We'll just call it rename attachment. Okay, right. So now we're going to add in a button. So we need a button to actually do something with. We're going to put that in the corner here, and we're going to call this submit. Okay. And right, what are we going to do here? Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is, for this attachments, we need to actually collect it into a table. Okay, so they can upload it. It needs to collect it into a table. So I don't know if you've used a function called clear collect. So basically what that does is just creates a table in the memory of the app, and you can, generally you can upload things into that. So it might be clear collect, name of the collection you want to create, and then you might upload a SharePoint list in there. So you could put all the values of a SharePoint list in there, or you could put for this example, we're going to put in an attachment in there, right? So we're going to start on there. So on select. So when the button on select just means when the button is pushed, we're going to go clear collect, which is a built-in function there. We're going to just to keep it neat and tidy, so we're going to call it collect attachments. That's the basically this syntax over here is just exactly how it works. So you can, so collection is the name of what your collection is going to be. So it's just whatever you want to call it. We're going to call it collect attachments, and then what the control is attach. So we called it attachment dot attachments, which is the actual the attachments itself. So attachment is what we've called this box, and the attachments part is a built-in part of that actually binds the attachments in there. Okay, and then we want to close it off with a semicolon. Okay, so that basically what that does is collects that on that button. It takes whatever's in that attachment and it puts it into memory, okay, of the app. So that's basically all that's doing. The next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to send an email, right? So to send an email with an app, you have to first add a connector. Now I've already added in the connector. There's Office 365 Outlook over here. It's very easy. You can just go add. So type in Outlook, there we go, Office 365 Outlook. If you just click on that, just click OK, and that just adds it in. And that just allows you to now to be able to send send emails, okay? And you can see this attachments over here. See collect attachments I've created. It's created this collection, which is a table in memory. That's where it's going to store the attachments, okay? So now we're going to go back over here. And actually what's quite good as well is if you just put always label your code. I know when you're lazy you don't really want to do this, but it certainly helps, because as you build your apps and they become more complex, you go back and you're going, oh god, what did I do with that code? If you just, when you create your code, just put a little comment, which is 2 forward slashes, and then you just say collect attachments into memory, okay, and that just tells you exactly what that little code snippet does. Okay, really helpful. Right, next one. So we want to send form fields and attachments via email. Okay, that's the next one we want to do. So what do we want to do here? So first of all, we want to use the connector, the Outlook. So we just type in Outlook. Sorry, I think it's Office 365 Outlook. Ooh, Outlook. That's actually, it's not .calendar. It's .send mail. Always use the the most recent one if it's a V2. Yeah, open brackets. So we're going to go into the next line, and the first thing is, you can see now, you always use this syntax helper over here. It tells you exactly what's going on. So we've got the Office 365 Outlook connector. We want to send email, use the version 2, and the first thing you do is to. So who do we want to send it to? We can just, if we want to just put in an email address, we can just put it in, we can just put in mine, so it's help@powerappify.com. You can send it to any of your email addresses, or you could capture an email address on the form and send it to that if you like. And then next is subject. You can see I put a comma. I'm going to go in the next line. So it's asking me what is the subject. So I'm going to say new request. I'm putting this in quotes, right? There we go. And every time I put a comma, look at the top, the syntax box there is helping me along. It's telling me what's in the body of your email. Right, so now we're going to get into a little bit of HTML, which is pretty easy to understand. If you haven't used HTML before, I think there's HTML C, is it C3, C3, C3? This W3 Schools HTML, really good, right? So if you want to learn HTML, just go on this. Even if there's certain parts of it that you're trying to get help with, really good resource. So do use that. Okay, so now because we're using HTML, we got to put the HTML in between these quotes. And now this here, what I'm doing now, these open and closed. Right, that B is just means it's bold. Whatever's between that B and in those and the /B is going to be bold, right? So I'm going to go today's date, right? And then I'm going to close that off. Okay, so that's today's date, and then I close the quotes and I put an and, right? And whenever so that's basically in the email, in bold, it's going to go today's date, and then it's going to, where I put the and is, I'm going to put a value that I've gathered from either from Power Apps, either a field, or it might be just like, I'm going to put in today's date, right? So I'm just going to type in today, and it'll just close up. That's basically just telling me add today's date. Notice I've also left a gap there, because if I don't leave a gap, it's all going to be bunched up together. So spaces in the quotes are actual real spaces, okay? And then this and today, there's no spaces here. This is just saying now attach today to that, okay? And then I'll put another and, okay? And then I'm going to open the quotes again, and now some more HTML. Now BR is new line, okay? So that's just saying on it. Now I'll go to a new line. In fact, I want another new line as well. So that's 2 new lines. Now I also want bold, because I want all my headings in bold there. I want to put requester. So who's the requester? There we go. I'm going to put that, and then I want to. Now you don't have to close the new lines, but you do have to close the bold. So where does the bold start and where does the bold stop? Because you don't need a new line's just a new line, but you have to include something in the bold. Okay, some words might be a few words, might just be one word, might even be half a word or whatever, but that just tells you where the bold starts and where the bold stops. Okay, and then my space, because I want a space. And now what do I want on who's the requester? I'm just going to put the user who's logged in. Okay, so these are just built in. So user dot full name. Okay, so that's the requester, and then I want another new line as well. So I'll put another and, because I'm just the ands just bring everything together. And I'm going to open up the quotes, and we're going to go new line, so it's BR, and I'm going to put another new line, BR, and bold. I'm going to start the bold, and then we're going to put, what is the request detail. Yeah, and what do? We close the bold with a /B. Yeah, don't forget the space. Okay, and then we want to add in the request. So what did we call this field over here? That's where the person's going to put their request. So we want to add the request into the email. So quite simple. It's a text. It was text underscore. Any text box I always start with txt. So I know it's the request. So that's the actual box, but we actually want the text that's in it. So put a dot, and then you can see text. So we want the text that's in that box. Okay, so we must put that text in. Okay, and there we go, and then we finally I think that's it. I don't think we need to do anything else. That's it. So what do we need to do? We just need to close it off with a comma, okay, because that's going to now go on to the next piece. Now I could put in some from, I could put in the CC emails, I could put in blind CC, carbon copy, but we can also put in some importance, but you can see there we want an attachments table. Okay, so attachments table. Right, so now this is a bit, I'm not going to try and explain this. It's basically built in from SharePoint, so it's more of a copy and paste. Okay, so I've got this code copied out here, so I'm just going to show you what it is, and then you can copy and paste it into your app as well. So Control C, Control V. So that's it. I'm just going to change this because this is called attachment. Okay, so attachments, so add columns, rename columns. Now it's going to put in the attachment dot attachments, okay, and the value and context bytes. Actually, guys, you know, I've sorry, I wasn't thinking properly. I in my previous version of this app, I had collected the attachment into memory for another reason, because I wanted to write it back to SharePoint. But in this demo, we're not going to write it back to SharePoint, so this part here is actually not required. So if you ever want to get rid of something, the code, you can just use this, okay? And that you can see that /* just greens all of that out, just means that that code isn't going to work anymore. Okay, so so this basically just takes the attachment from this box and it uploads it using this into your email, okay? And that's just something that you can just create a copy of that code somewhere and just save it, because that's what it does. Okay, so shall we see if it works? Well, we've got some error here. What is that? Oh, sorry, we haven't closed this properly. So I think we're missing. Yeah, that's gone. Okay, yeah, sorry, I just because I had an open bracket here, I just needed to close the bracket at the end. Okay, that's why that wasn't working. Okay, so now we can see if this actually works. So I've logged onto my app. You can see I'm logged on there. Let's push play over here and let's see if this works. Let's just do hello world. Hello world. I wonder if this live demo app will actually work. Please. Please. Alright. And we want an attachment file. Let's just do this timesheet logo. Yeah, let's do that. That's just from my latest timesheet app that I've done. Okay, check it out if you want. Right. Okay. So let's see. We want to submit and see what happens. Okay. Now, you know, we don't know if that actually worked, right? Without actually going to the email. There we go. That's the email I've sent. There we go. So we've got today's date, the requester, and request details. Hello world. I wonder if this app will actually work. Let me just untag that one and delete the rest. No, it's not letting me. Oh gosh. Sorry. No. Okay, just forget about it. I'm just trying to get rid of these. Okay, so there we go. We've got that was sent with the attachment, so it actually worked. Very simple. Just remember, if we want to basically also have a screen that tells us when we've done. So success. I've created this earlier just so we don't have to do it again. So this is called screen success. I'm going to click on the submit button. So at the end, once we've done the email, we've sent the email, we want to go to success screen, and then we want to go navigate. Screen success. None. Boom. I think that's got it. Let's try it again. And I think you can do multiple attachments if I'm not mistaken. So let's play it. Actually, there's something else. What's also quite useful for forms is just guys, just to reset your fields as well. So let's just go over here. And you can actually have a separate button if you want to reset it, but otherwise, if they come back in the form, it'll have the same values in. So reset fields, and that's quite easy. It's just reset, out the bracket, reset, and then we want to do attachment, and we also want to reset text. Right, there we go. Cool. Right, now let's try it again. Bring it up at the top. We want to add another, I'm just going to play it. We want to add another attachment just to see. I'll just do my screen that I attached to this live cast. Let's see. Okay, we've got 2 attachments. Let's see what happens. Submit. This part 2. Submit. Okay, what it's going to do now, it's going to, you can see it's processing. There we go, onto my screen, so they know it's actually worked. And there we go. Here's the email I sent up. We can see basically both of those attachments in the email. And there we go, part 2. So that worked, and that's what I wanted to show you today. So hopefully, guys, that you learned something. If there's any questions, happy to take any. I'm not sure if you can actually ask questions, but I'm happy to take them. Let me just see if I can log into Facebook. I'm not sure if there are any. I'm not logged on. Should have been logged on, but I'm not. Yeah, so I think a lot of people use Power Apps for forms, and as I said, I've just done it really simply here, but you can see you can just add on more and more fields, and you can either, some other parts that I didn't include here, you can basically, once you've captured all the information, you can write it into a collection, which is that clear collect. So you can make a collection, and you could put all of those values in a collection, and then you can write that collection to SharePoint. So you can use the patch command, and that basically takes all those values, and then you'd have basically the same fields in a SharePoint list, and every time they click submit, it writes those to a SharePoint list. You could even do it where you have a save button, and it saved those to a SharePoint list, and you might have a column in there that says status, and if it's draft, then you could have when they log in, anything that's draft where they are the person who requests it, so you can use the filter command, then show them maybe the references or the headings of those, so they can drop that down and select one, and then you can update the values based on one that they'd previously completed that they hadn't finished. So you could you can do that as well, where you can save the status and send later. I mean, that's if you want to get a little bit more complex, but certainly start simply, and then you can always build in that a bit later. Cool. All right. I don't think I have any comments on there. Let me just check YouTube. Yeah, no questions on there. So guys, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. Really useful pieces of snippets of information in there. Yeah, so go and enjoy building forms. All right, if you've got any requests for other topics, please do let me know. Drop it in the comments of the video, or join our Facebook group. Let me just flick over there quickly, just so you can get all the links quickly. Just one sec. Okay, yeah, so if you want to, Facebook group up there, loads of Power App templates down here at powerappify.com, and then please subscribe and like our videos on YouTube. Really helps. I think I've got 500 subscribers, just over, so next target is 1,000. So I think become you get some functionality in YouTube after 1,000 subscribers. So I'm looking forward to getting there. So please do subscribe and help the channel out. Right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Monday tomorrow, I know probably a bit of a downer going back to work, but enjoy it. Have a great week, and we'll speak to you soon.